My. So it's been almost 2 weeks since the last video. I think at this point it's been almost 12 days, give or take. But let me bring you guys up to speed with the Honda. So, as you guys know, I'm from the Caribbean, so we're in the tropics. So it gets really wet, really rainy around this time of year. So it's been raining a lot lately, pretty much almost every day. And on top of that, I work a full-time job plus a couple other things, plus a full family to take care of. So time has not been on my side. But let me bring you guys up to speed with what I have been up to with the Honda. Alright, so you can see the engine bay, everything is pretty much buttoned up. Only thing I need to make a bracket for the coils to mount that. And other than that, just some minor covering up of some wires and whatnot on the inside. I did some cleaning. Still has a fair bit of work left because this car has been packed for roughly 8 months. So it is very dirty, but I had a couple issues that I ran into. So upon starting up the car, I noticed my coolant temp sensor, I think I pointed that out in the last video, the coolant temp sensor was fluctuating. So I went ahead and I put in a spare sensor I had lying around. That sort of fixed it. It's still variating a bit, so I need to check the wiring. What I noticed also is that the harness had a lot of corrosion since it was pretty much left to the elements for a few months, so I need to clean up a few pins. But another thing I noticed, my fuel injectors are behaving very weird. Same base map, well, same map. I threw in the map from last year onto the car, but what the car would do is that it would just idle. Well, I'm not sure if the wideband is off, but it'll idle in the 11s FUL ratio on the very same map, and if I lean it out to anything past 13.0 thereabout, it will just behave as if it's going lean. The wideband is good. I have used it. I haven't confirmed that it's good, so that is the plan for today. I need to confirm if the wideband itself is actually reading correct. Another thing I need to do, as you see here, I have V0.4. This one I'm going to be installing alongside my UA4C. So I'm going to, this is one of my boards, it's the V4UC. So you see pretty much your ribbon cable which is connected here. We plug into that and then it goes to your harness. So I'll be putting this alongside, so I'll be able to swap between a V0.4 and a UA4C because I need to do some testing for a board I received, a variant of the V0.4 board I received from Aaron over in New York, I believe he's from. Got that board a couple weeks ago, so I need to try that out. So got a couple things lined up today. Hopefully by the end of the video I get at least a couple of them knocked out. So less talking, more working. Alrighty, so it's been a few days. So here's what's new. So I decided to begin troubleshooting, and what I ended up doing was I changed the plugs, the spark plugs, threw on a new set, and I added some grounds to the engine bay. So the unstable idle which we would see, that is gone. The car idles fine. The only issue now is my coolant temperature sensor, if you can see here. Not sure if you can see the glare. 55, but the car is fully warmed and it tends to move about a bit. Let's see if you can get it, if I can get it to do it. Wanders a bit. So I'm not sure if that's just a grounding issue or something else. I'm going to continue investigating, but we're making some progress. So just more than likely just the car being packed for a while developed a bunch of issues. Right, let's show you in the engine bay. Temporary ground. Alright, so things are beginning to clean up, but just need to sort out that last issue and then I'll take it out for a drive. Finally had some good weather today after about 2 or so weeks of the car firing up. So when I continue hacking away at it and get down to the root cause of this coolant temperature sensor issue, I've already swapped out coolant temperature sensor for another good working, well, a known good sensor, and doesn't really make a difference. I've played in the analog filters, so not sure what exactly the issue is, but I'll continue playing in that. Yeah, you can see it moving about a bit now. Right, so I'm gonna continue playing that and then I'll pick up when I have some more progress. Okay, so it's another day. I think it's 2 days later from the last clip. Finally putting in some time, so I did some troubleshooting on my wiring, and I pretty much concluded that well, let me just show you what I found out. So over here, let's close this up. Okay, so car is dead cold. Hopefully you can see this and the glare isn't too bad. So the car is dead cold. You can see here it's showing 17 degrees. Now ambient temperature is about 32 degrees, 30, 31 right now. I'm really hot, so it's about 30. It's about 31. So here's what happens when I run this wire, which goes to the ground, the sensor ground on the coolant sensor, right? 17 degrees, and as soon as I connect this ground, we have 31 degrees. So there's a problem again with my grounding circuit on this car. So what I intend to do, I pretty much did the same thing for my intake temperature. So what I intend to do is to just run some new wires in there temporarily, and after that I'm just going to rip out the entire harness. As soon as I get everything functioning properly, rip out the entire harness and just make a new harness for the car from scratch. Okay, so run a new harness, and as you can see, coolant temp is about 34 degrees because the intake pipes are pretty much exposed to the sun. Coolant temp is actually 31, air temp 34. I have a visitor. Next up, harnesses I made, pretty much coolant temp here. Need to strap them up, and air temp here. Right, so that's a fix, one of many for now. Alrighty, so it's another day. Finally got everything to a point where I think it's ready for a test drive, so we're gonna do that. So first things first, I'm gonna fire up and check all the sensors, make sure everything is good. I think everything is good, but never know. Fire that up now. Okay. To start, add some RPM spike right here. It's dead cold, so it's about 26 degrees, so I'm going to allow it to warm up and then we're going to continue the drive. Okay, so we're back from the road test, and as you can see, everything is pretty much okay with the exception of that slight misfire we had at the end. I'll show you what that is right now. As you can see here, right here we see RPM at 1600 RPM, then it drops to 0, it goes back up to 4300, and then back to 1600. Sync loss. You can see here again, the corner, sync loss at 9. Then by the time it's done, we also have acceleration enrichment being triggered. So that pretty much ended up giving us that misfire thing we saw towards the end. In addition to that, the tune is really rich. Didn't really spend much time dialing that in, just wanted to give it its first test drive. So checked everything after that. No leaks, no coolant leaks, no oil leaks, no nothing, no weird sound. So pretty much the only thing that's left to do is to take it out and to do some more tuning. But before that, I can need some cleaning, as you guys saw. And I guess that's pretty much going to wrap it up for this one. And I guess I'll catch you guys on the next one. Till then, stay safe.